You're listening to the Mindful Mama podcast, episode number 315. Today, we're talking about what your child needs, and it is not for you to be perfect. Welcome to the Mindful Mama podcast, now with over 1 million downloads. Here, it's about becoming a less irritable, more joyful parent. At Mindful Mama, we know that you cannot give what you do not have, and when you've calm and peace within, then you can give it to your children. I'm your host, Hunter Clark-Field's Mindful Mama mentor. I help smart, thoughtful parents stay calm so they can have strong, connected relationships with their children. I've been practicing mindfulness for over 20 years. I'm the creator of Mindful Parenting, and I'm the author of Raising Good Humans, a mindful guide to breaking the cycle of reactive parenting and raising kind, confident kids. Welcome back to the Mindful Mama podcast. So glad you are here for one of the Friday Mindful Parenting shorts. So good to see you again. Hey, want to know if these shorts are feeding you? Are they watering your good seeds? I really would love for you to let me know, but you can do that after you listen, because today we're going to talk about how your child doesn't need you to be perfect. They actually need you to be happy. They need you to be happy. And I want to know if you can resonate this with, because a lot of parents, there's a lot of stress and pressure out there. We're feeling really guilty. We're terrible for the mistakes we're making or yelling. And we're trying so hard to get it right? We really wanting to do our best for them. I mean, and you can't blame us, right? Like when I had now my 14-year-old Maggie, holy moly, did my priorities change? Like this became the most important thing in my life. And that may feel the same for you too, that this is like the most important thing in your life. It has incredible consequences, how we parent and what we do. So no pressure or anything, right? So we really are striving hard to be perfect. And for many of us who listen, we're trained to kind of like be achievement oriented, to like get the good grades, to get it done, to make the things happen. And so that perfectionism thing can really be a strong habit. And maybe you're nodding your head right now and having that there, but your child doesn't need you to be perfect. Why not? Well, there's a couple problems. Research shows that perfectionistic tendencies tend to predict issues like depression, anxiety, and stress, and we don't parent well with that. Being self-critical, the researchers show that being self-critical can lead to depressive symptoms, but those symptoms then make the self-criticism worse. So it becomes a whole loop, right? And then we're not able to access our full brain. We're not able to be that calm, peaceful, easeful parent we want to be. Perfectionism is often, sometimes we see it as a positive trait, right? That's going to increase our chances of success. But no, it actually really leads to a lot of self-defeating thoughts or behaviors that make it harder to achieve your goals. And I'd love for you to just check in with yourself right now. If you have some perfectionism, is that true for you? Does it lead to those self-critical, self-defeating thoughts that make it harder to achieve your goals, that put you into that loop? We don't want that, right? It may also cause stress, anxiety, like I said, depression, and other mental health issues. Basically, perfectionism is like nothing is ever good enough and never good enough. And where it's a constant state of judgment. I'm never good enough, right? So we are wanting to be perfect because it comes out of this sense of love, but then we end up feeling so terrible, so guilty. What do we want to experience instead? We want to experience ease, connection, flow with our child, right? We want to feel that lovely give and take, that moment when they look at you and smile and hug and you're fully present and connected, right? That's what we want. But we're having this perfectionism, feeling terrible and guilt. So why is this happening? So the reasons for this is that both that we are trying too hard and that we are not trying hard enough. Okay, So we are trying too hard to do everything right and going into that perfectionism judgment place where we're getting into this loop of self criticism. And then we try to take in all the information from here in the Mindful Mama podcast, from everywhere. You may have a stack of books at home, but you don't have a clear plan or accountability. And why do we do that? There's a couple of reasons why we do that. And we tend to try too hard in a lot of ways that kind of keep us sort of multitasking and busy and distracted, but we procrastinate on investing our time and energy into what's actually really important, what's really going to move the needle, because we are both trying too hard, this perfectionism thing, but we're also not trying hard enough. We're not actually focusing our efforts on a clear path and investing our time and energy in a clear path and solution. Instead, we're taking in way too many sources of information. So, why do we procrastinate? Why do we procrastinate on investing our time and our energy into what's really important? Because we have trouble prioritizing what's most important. And this happens when you're facing an endless list of tasks. Maybe it's like a vague goal. I just want to parent better. I just want a better relationship, right? You'll often find yourself multitasking through, you're listening to the podcast while you're folding the laundry or whatever. You're ticking up to-do lists. You're bouncing between different tasks. But when you get to the end of the week, you find yourself and you're also listening to maybe this podcast, you're finding a lot of free information from a lot of different sources. But, when you get to the end of the week, you find yourself no closer to that goal of wanting to be a better parent, or even worse, you might have just enough information to tell that you're kind of further away than you wanted to be. And you start to really question the value of it all. We're unable to say, what is more important for me to invest my energy and attention into? The temptation is to just work on what's ever most convenient, what's easiest, what's free, or just throw up your hands and watch some Netflix or HBO. So that's one of the reasons why we procrastinate. We may also procrastinate because we are doing some emotional procrastination. A lot of our procrastination issues, if we're procrastinating on maybe like joining mindful parenting or committing your time and energy to another program or something with a clear path, it could be an attempt to kind of just avoid discomfort, right? Theoretically, we know that we can follow a process and learn some new skills. The issue isn't a lack of capability. It's our emotional triggers kind of just driving us away from discomfort, right? Getting out of that comfort zone. So that's one reason why we may be just jumping around from place to place. And another reason why we may not be able to invest our time and energy into what's really important is a lack of motivation. If you've been meaning to join mindful parenting or commit to some other training, but you haven't, you're not alone. A lack of motivation can strike when it's time to start focusing or keep us from staying focused until things are done, because remember, our brains are wired to seek reward in the present moment. And that's why it's so easy to eat a box of chocolates right now. The future is an unknown, right? And so this bias for present payoff can make it tricky to stay motivated through something like a program that will take weeks or months of different practices and learning to go through. And this same thing goes for essential but sometimes boring tasks of learning and practicing your new skills. So that kind of work, it won't earn immediate accolades either from your children. Thank you, mother, for calming down your stress response and learning more skillful communication. I'm feeling so grateful for you. No, you're not going to get that. Or your partner, right? You're not going to get that from your darling, it's been 2 days and you've watched all those mindful parenting module 1 lessons, and now I just am glowing with joy and pride. No, that's not going to happen either, right? So a lack of feedback kind of forces us to, it kind of makes us like guesser about our own progress. So it can make it harder to stay on target. And then the final reason that we might be procrastinating in putting our time and energy into what's really important is too much multitasking. Multitasking is a common byproduct of feeling overwhelmed. It's hard to stay focused for long enough to finish one thing when you're worried that your to-do list is turning into the next War and Peace. So the temptation is to just jump from task to task. And it's easy to trick ourselves that this whirlwind of activity is the same thing as productivity. But all the time, the switching costs, right? The loss of efficiency and time it takes to reorient ourselves whenever we change tasks, they really, really add up. So what are we to do? What are we to do with all of this? Oh my goodness. So you're trying to do too much and you're trying too hard and you're not trying hard enough in some ways. So the counterintuitive fix to all of this is the perfectionism is that we really have to practice to accept our flawed humanity. We have to practice to love and accept ourselves exactly as we are. And we have to invest our time and energy into a clear process. If we're just, oh, I'm trying to be perfect and then I'm failing and I'm in this self-critical loop, like we're just spinning our wheels. You're not getting anywhere. So instead, go in the mirror, put your hand to your heart, look in your eyes and say, I love and accept myself exactly as I am 5 times in a row. If you can't say that, may I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Practice this love and acceptance. We need that to be able to accept our kids, right? It's going to be so much more. We have to accept exactly as I am, flaws and all. I'm not perfect, you guys. Like I'm practicing to accept those flaws all the time, every day. It's a daily practice, right? So we do that. We practice that to accept that we're not going to be perfect, to love ourselves anyway. And we invest in a clear process and skills and tools to help that are research proven to help make things better, right? So, you may be you may be right now taking in too much information and not really addressing the things that are really going to move the needle forward inside. It's funny, I've been saying like a clear process because oddly enough, that CLEAR is the acronym for the mindful parenting method. The C stands for all that inner work we do. Calming, the C is the calm step, calming reactivity, creating habits that steady the heart, the mind, and the nervous system, understanding and taking care of our triggers, self-compassion, and learning fully how to take care of our difficult feelings. That's all in that calm step. CLEAR method continues with L, listening reflectively, creating connection. E, expressing yourself honestly and effectively, like not saying those things that don't work so well. A, attending, being present. That's been shown to be the number one best thing a parent can do is really, really be present without all that perfectionism, judgment and stuff, right? To just that's what our kids need. They need us to be present and happy, right? And R in the CLEAR method is resolve, solve problems based on needs. So your child doesn't need you to be perfect. They need you to be happy. And being happy means being present, having some ease, having some flow with our kids, right? And so I invite you to do that, by stopping the looping, the spinning your wheels, this trying too hard, taking in too much, and really instead practicing that acceptance of our imperfection and going for a clear path, right? So that clear path in mindful parenting has helped hundreds and hundreds of people. If you want to learn more about it, go to mindfulparentingcourse.com. You can get on the waitlist and be informed for next time we open up the course. And we have the new self-study option, which is now our most affordable option too, is there. You can learn about that. Just get on the waitlist though. I hope this has been helpful. I gotta go and pick up my kiddo from the bus stop. So I got to wrap this up, but I hope this has been helpful for you. Honestly, truly, 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 your child does not need you to be perfect. They don't. It's okay for you to make mistakes. They need you to see you make mistakes and see you recover for them. They need all that. If you were perfect, they would just feel terribly inadequate themselves because they're not going to be perfect. It's okay for us to be imperfect. It's okay. That's an old limiting belief that's just inflicted by our, our upbringing and stuff. So your child does not need you to be perfect. They need you to be happy, at peace, at ease, and you can do that. And it's all about just what we practice grows stronger. You have neuroplasticity, you can change, you can grow, you can water your good seeds. Okay, so I hope this has watered your good seeds today. Thank you so much for listening. I would love to see if you're listening. I want to know if these mini episodes are helpful to you, and I'm wishing you the best. I'm wishing you some non-multitasking, some single tasking, some downtime, some ease, so that you can have some clear thinking and all that good stuff. Okay, thanks so much for listening. Namaste.
I have 2 kids. I have Violet, who's almost 4, and then I have June, who is a year and a half. As much as I sort of tried really hard to be a calm mother, I still was having a lot of those days where I was just like, trying hard just kind of wasn't working. That's why I took the course, and I feel like it's really helped. I think what I came away with was that it doesn't have to be like a big meditation practice. If I get 5 minutes, I'm better that day. That day goes better for me with my kids. Like just kind of taking that moment, like that breath before reacting to her makes a huge difference for me. That feels like a win. I think it's so valuable just to take the course because part of the value for me was just connecting with the other women and hearing that like you're not alone and everyone's dealing with some version of what you're dealing with. I felt like there was a lot of personal support on the calls.
I'd say definitely do it. It's really helpful. It will change your relationship with your kids for the better. It will help you communicate better. And just, I'd say communicate better as a person, as a wife, as a spouse. It's been really a positive influence in our lives. So definitely do it.
I'd say definitely do it. It's so worth it. The money really is inconsequential when you get so much benefit from being a better parent to your children and feeling like you're connecting more with them and not feeling like you're yelling all the time or you're like, why isn't things working? I would say definitely do it. It's so worth it. It'll change you.
No matter what age someone's child is, it's a great opportunity for personal growth and it's a great investment in someone's family. I'm very thankful I had this.
You can continue in your old habits that aren't working, or you can learn some new tools and gain some perspective to shift everything in your parenting.
Are you frustrated by parenting? Do you listen to the experts and try all the tips and strategies, but you're just not seeing the results that you want? Or are you lost as to where to start? Does it all seem so overwhelming with too much to learn? Are you yearning for a community of people who get it, who also don't want to threaten and punish to create cooperation? Hi, I'm Hunter Clark-Fields, and if you answered yes to any of these questions, I want you to seriously consider the Mindful Parenting membership. You will be joining hundreds of members who have discovered the path of mindful parenting and now have confidence and clarity in their parenting. This isn't just another parenting class. This is an opportunity to really discover your unique, lasting relationship, not only with your children, but with yourself. It will translate into lasting, connected relationships, not only with your children, but your partner too. Let me change your life. Go to mindfulparentingcourse.com to add your name to the waitlist, so you will be the first to be notified when I open the membership for enrollment. I look forward to seeing you on the inside. mindfulparentingcourse.com.